This video was meant to have epic intro, something like this.
In the time of ancient handhelds, PSPs and Vitas, a market in turmoil cried out for a hero. She was Nvidia Shield Portable, a mighty device forged in the heat of battle. The power, the passion.
But then I scrapped it, and now I'm sitting here in front of you with this in my hands. What happened?
So let's start at the beginning, what it even is. This, my friends, is portable handheld machine made by Nvidia called Shield Portable. I have never owned one back in the day, this is my very first one, but I've heard about it. It is using Nvidia's Tegra 4 chip, so it's like an Ouya successor, because that one is using Tegra 3 chip. If you've ever heard about Ouya, the failed micro console. Then there was Tegra K1 chip, which was inside Shield tablet. I wanna get my hands on that one too. Nvidia claims it outperforms Xbox 360 and PS3 whilst consuming significantly less power. I certainly wanna be witness of that. And then we have Nintendo Switch with Tegra X1 chip, and that one is also inside Shield Android TV.
Fun fact, Nvidia also made few prototypes of Shield Portable 2 with Tegra X1 chip inside.
I've seen few videos online, it has a larger screen and different shape Android function buttons, otherwise it is the same. I wish I can get my hands on one of those two, but they are quite rare and expensive. And it looks like Nvidia has cancelled it in favor of Nintendo Switch. Then I've started my usual review process. When I get a new machine into my hands, I have installed a bunch of emulators and games. I have put inside bigger micro SD card for all the ROMs. We all know Nvidia knows how to make solid chips. This one has 5 cores, up to 1.9 GHz and 2 GB of RAM. Back in the day it was powerhouse, not so much now. But bunch of games are still running absolutely fine, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or GTA 3. I have just sideloaded older APKs, then I have put game files inside folders, and it was all working absolutely fine at full speed. Controls were supported straight out of box, no issues. Same with Max Payne Mobile. It was running full speed and it was absolutely enjoyable using joysticks and physical buttons. I can always enjoy these Rockstar mobile ports. There is a bunch of graphical settings to play with, plus native control support is much appreciated. I have sideloaded all these games cause just to get the Play Store working I had to like 3 times factory reset whole device. Even then I didn't know why it suddenly started to work. Same like when I was recording gameplay footage. Play Store was working before absolutely fine, but then it just didn't launch when I was recording. Server error, couldn't connect, try again or whatever. Then that trigger 2 wanted to be updated, so I've clicked update and it somehow kickstarted the Play Store and it was working again out of blue. No idea why. Anyway, a bunch of games and emulators are not available on the Play Store, like Redream, the Dreamcast emulator. It is not there, so I've sideloaded it, but no matter what I did, it just crashed always. So I've tried Flycast, and that one was working pretty good actually. I've tried few games like Res, it was running at full speed, at native resolution, with widescreen hack enabled. Soldier of Fortune, there were some frame drops, but auto frame skip was turned off, so if you would turn it on, it would run much better. Ikaru got here and there some slowdowns at transitions from cutscenes to gameplay, but other than that, very playable. Red Dog's superior firepower was running great, but it had glitched out graphics, couldn't figure out why, and there are so many options to play with in the settings. Flycast emulation was very good, I liked it, but there was one big downside, that I couldn't load ROMs from the SD card. I had to load them from internal storage, and there is only 16 GB available, and that's not much. PSP emulation was quite enjoyable. All games I've tried were quite playable at 2x resolution with auto frame skip turned on. God of War, Ghost of Sparta, Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories, Burnout Dominator, Ratchet and Clank, PPSSPP was from the Play Store, and I was able to load ROMs from a microSD card, which is a big plus. Here I want to mention they did a great job with the ergonomics of the device. It's really comfortable when you hold it in your hands, but let's be honest, it's more like a controller with the screen attached on it, on top of it, and that's basically it, you know. Here it's compared to the standard controller. Yeah, it's basically the same thing, as you can see. Almost same thickness, just it has batteries and screen. This top piece is removable. It holds there on the magnets. If you have different one you can put there. I have just this one. I do really like this Nvidia Shield branding. It's really neat. From the back, powered by Nvidia Tegra. This is like all glossy, and here as well, and this is like rubbery, so even when your palms are sweaty, the grip is solid. When you open it, you can find here the controls. Sticks are parallel at the bottom. Then there is a D-pad and action buttons, and here are all the other Android function buttons. Back, home, power, volume, and this is like start or select. Stereo speakers are quite loud. There is not much bass, but the quality is pretty good. Just listen to it. And if you hold it in like this, it's going straight to your face. Display is 5 inches with the resolution 720p IPS LCD. Here you can see some more specifications, GPU render and clock speed, refresh rate. It has also a huge battery, as you can see, like 7000 milliamp hours. It has larger battery than this full-size 15-inch laptop. Here is only 5000 milliamp hour battery. Bumpers and triggers are quite good. I like them, even triggers. This is like normal triggers. And bumpers are like, there is not much travel and it's like a clicky button. Not bad. From the back there is headphone jack, micro USB for charging, mini HDMI for TV out. Yes, you can do TV out. Then there is micro SD slot for expanding storage. And we can't forget about the active cooling. Here is intake and this is exhaust. Yeah, very cool. Active cooling in 2014 on a handheld. This also goes to show how ahead of its time Shield Portable truly was. Active cooling, TV out, great ergonomics, bumpers, triggers, clickable joysticks, and although it was not first ever Android handheld, that victory goes to Xperia Play. It was first Android handheld with true power. When I compare it to normal handheld, yeah, the difference is quite big. It's quite thick and large. I'm not sure if it's pocketable. You know, it has like this clamshell design. If I compare it with Nintendo 3DS, that has also, you know, clamshell design, but it's still quite a bit bigger, as you can see. I don't think you're gonna put it in a pocket because it's like really chunky. It's like a controller. Try to put controller in your pocket, you know. It's chunky, but I like it, you know, because it's different, you know. It makes something different. That's what I like. Here, I like all of these devices. You see, all of them, they were doing something new. They was trying something, you know, something different, and all of them in here got something in common that they have a little bit failed. Yeah, maybe not this one, but this, yeah, we can say they were a bit of a failure. Another great feature ahead of its time available on Shield Portable was Geforce Now. We'll get to it later. For now, let's carry on with N64 emulation with Mupen 64 plus FZ. This was pretty seamless experience. I've downloaded it from the Play Store. Even GoldenEye was running at not exactly full speed, but it was playable. Even upscaled to 800 by 600 resolution. Ocarina of Time, upscaled to 1.25x, was running full speed. N64 games are quite small, so you don't need to worry about taking a lot of internal storage. Now I can't really remember if I was able to load it from SD card. I think I was. Perfect Dark, there were some slowdowns, but it wasn't as bad. plus it was all at default settings, so without any tweaks whatsoever. Sin and Punishment was running okay. Here I just wanna reiterate the comfortability of this handheld. They really nailed it.
Now I would like to send a huge thanks to all my channel patrons and members. We're gonna do it like always upside down, but I gotta take it easy because I still feel a little bit weak. So, huge thanks to Jarek Smith, Daniel David, Dalaylama, Joseph Santander, Wayne Redding, PatnosD, Dawid Grabka, Herman, Raul Gauthier, Nix, Hiro Hito, Marshmallow, RC from the NYC, Victor Ginelli, PopePepe, Marcus Luther, Dante, and huge thanks to brand new channel member, Isenor 10 Gaming. Thanks to all of you guys, I got much more creative freedom. Big up.
Nintendo DS emulation via Drastic was pretty solid too. It was on a Play Store, so I haven't sideloaded it. And it was running even the heaviest games at full speed with high definition graphics turned on. Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Brothers, or even GTA Chinatown Wars was running at full speed, no slowdowns. This just goes to show how powerful this chip from 10 years ago truly is. This can easily outperform plenty of modern retro handhelds, plus you can get it for relatively cheap. I have bought mine for 55 British pounds without the box, but I have at least received this nice genuine Nvidia wall plug. I'm keeping that one for sure. There are some scratches on the surface, but overall condition is decent and everything works.
Tegra 4 is really powerful, but it has one small flaw. It is 32-bit. So any 64-bit apps or emulators are not supported, unfortunately.
And all the higher end emulators are 64-bit. Dolphin for GameCube and Wii, Vita 3K for PS Vita, E3SX2 for PS2, all of them require 64-bit processor to function. Plus, on top of that, they also require like Android 9 or higher. This one is Android 5.1 Lollipop. I was able to install some older 32-bit Dolphin application, but I couldn't load any game. I was also trying to install unofficial ports like Cuphead or Hollow Knight, but they also require high Android, like Android 9 or something. However, I was able to install Doom 3 without any issues, but I had to run it without shaders to get some kind of playable frame rates. Counter-Strike 1.6 client was running okay. I was able to install it without any issues. These older ports do not require 64-bit or higher Android, so it was pretty straightforward.
But why don't you just install higher Android OS by yourself? I was considering this option, but there is only Lineage OS available based on Android 6 Marshmallow, and there are few key features missing in this version.
It is missing few very good features like touch mapping for gamepads. Yes, another very useful feature, ahead of its time, built right into the official software. It is not a third-party application. This Android 6 also doesn't support game streaming and wireless controllers, so I've decided to stay on Android 5 cause it seems better choice for me.
Then it suddenly struck me, why am I trying to run all these 64-bit Android 9 games when I can enjoy perfectly fine all the old school Android goodness developed specifically with Tegra chip in mind, like Shadowgun.
This is a great game that was delisted from the Play Store a long time ago. Here I've simply sideloaded it and everything was working straight out of box, even physical controls were supported. There is so many of these delisted old school Android games that Shield Portable is ideal for, in my opinion, because you don't need to do any tweaking and they just work. Whereas, for example, if you want to play the exact same version of Shadowgun on Android 13, it's gonna give you a warning that this application was built for all the Android and that it might not work properly. And yeah, of course, it was not working properly. It was just crashing. And yes, of course, it took me just few minutes to Google and install Shadowgun APK that does support Android 13. So in the end, I was able to play Shadowgun on Android 13, but for example, physical controls are not supported in here natively. cause usually developers just removed this feature with later updates.
And this brings me to my final conclusion, that the Nvidia Shield Portable is still a great device even in 2024. However, it suffers greatly by the lack of support from the community.
Just compare it to PS Vita, it's so much weaker, yet it is bigger than ever in 2024, cause the support is still there. Fun fact, did you know that Nvidia never actually officially discontinued Shield Portable? But they haven't released anything in like 10 years, so I think it's safe to say it's somewhere in a Shield limbo. If there would have been homebrew community standing behind it, it could have had so much brighter future ahead. But as it stands right now, this is not the case, unfortunately. And if you want to do something with Nvidia Shield in 2024, it's so freaking hard just to dig up some up-to-date information. There is a lot of old forums with dead links, and I thought to myself, it would be great to have some place where we can share all the latest information, even supported APKs and games, cause I was even, for example, trying to install Portal and Half-Life 2. These were like Nvidia exclusive games for Shield devices, but I just couldn't make them run. I couldn't find them on the Play Store, so I was using the source engine method. Pretty much same thing like on my Odin 2. I was able to install APK and to set the directory, but when I launched the game, it just crashed.
It would be great to have such place, and therefore I've decided to create a separate channel on our Discord dedicated specifically to Nvidia Shield Portable, where we can do all of it. Feel free to join our Discord and share any kind of knowledge or know-how or forgotten APKs. These need to be preserved for future generations, right?
I'm putting there a bunch of supported APKs with native physical support. This way I wanna send a huge shout out to the Xperia Play Discord server, where I found loads of these supported APKs, like for GTA 3 and San Andreas and Max Payne and Shadowgun. There were also a bunch of other that were not supported, like Vice City or The Dark Knight Rises. I was able to play Dark Knight, but I had to use newer APK, and therefore there was no native physical control support. Luckily there is the built-in Nvidia's mapping software that is working very well. I just pressed and hold top right button, the menu popped up, and then I could have assigned any screen area or even swipes or gyro functions to any physical button or joystick. Amazing feature, I'm a big fan. I wanna also at least mention that you can install RetroArch for all the emulation, but a bunch of higher end cores like Dreamcast were not supported. Plus the big issue for me was the size. Internal storage is precious, and bunch of applications need to be installed internally to function. You can install the app, then move the contents to SD card, but bunch of apps and games don't support this feature like San Andreas or RetroArch. So you have to be very mindful about what to keep and what not to keep. Maybe this can be a bit better when you root the device, but I didn't do it. I felt like it was not necessary, unlike on Xperia Play, which only had 400 megabytes of internal storage. Yeah, you heard it right, 400 megabytes. Shield Portable has 16 gigabytes, which is way better. Now to the Geforce Now. It is Nvidia's cloud gaming service, and it works in here, kind of. I had huge issues just to get it working, same like with Play Store. It wasn't working, then suddenly it was, and I had no idea why. I found some tips online to follow, like sideload it instead of to use the pre-installed app inside of the device, or to delete cache, etc. But nothing did help, and then out of blue it was working, so I didn't really care. Plus, I'm not into game streaming, as you might know. My internet connection seems not to be into it either. Shield Portable has a lot of other cool use case scenarios, like that you can use it as a controller via cable only, unfortunately. Would be cool if Bluetooth was also supported, but it isn't as of right now, cause there is no homebrew community backing it up. What a shame. It's one of the best controllers I have ever used, even with the screen on top of it. It doesn't take much from the quality.
Some people commented under my post that they were using it as a controller for their drone or with Moonlight for game streaming, so that's similar like Geforce Now. Some people even thought that this is like a PS Portal kind of thing, just for remote play. But majority of people seem to share my point of view, that this was an amazing device and it's a shame Nvidia didn't really care.
Maybe because of Nintendo Switch, who knows? I sincerely hope Nvidia is gonna come with some handheld in the near future. There is a Switch 2 on the horizon, no closer details were shared yet, but I'm sure they had a good profit on Tegra X1 that's inside of all Switches. What do you think? Is a new Nvidia Shield portable coming? Let me know down below. So, is the Shield portable must buy in 2024? Perhaps it is not, especially if you have other, more capable Android handhelds. However, if you are a handheld enthusiast like me, I would recommend getting it because there is no other handheld like that. Plus, it's a very cool and important piece of handheld history. The prices are not as high. I bought mine for £55, which is like $70 US, but clearly the prices differ depending on the country where you live in. So if you're interested, check your local Facebook Marketplace or eBay or something similar. I would like to thank you all for watching. Thanks to members and Patreons for support. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.